Indian startups are struggling to find fresh money. Indian startups simply aced the pandemic. They used innovation to surge ahead. But now things are returning to normal. People are back working in offices. Schools are open. Restaurants have resumed service. So the pandemic era startups are struggling with demand.
Hello guys, this is almost the end of 2022 and the winter is here along with the startup winter. A lot of startups have started facing difficulty in raising funds and this problem is only going to intensify with time to come. However, just the fact that you have raised funds does not mean that your startup is going to be successful. Today, we are going to look at the top 5 startups which got funded but had to shut shop in 2022. All the startups in this list have raised more than at least $3 million in their funding, but right now they have decided to close down. This is the Builders Club Deep Dive. The first company in our list is called crejo.fun. Started in 2020 at the peak of the edtech wave, this Bangalore-based startup was founded on the idea of providing extracurricular activities to children on an online platform. It offered yoga, dance, and art and craft classes to children. The founders believed that the extracurricular activities had a market of $10 billion in India alone, and they managed to secure a seed funding of $3 million in 2021 by 021 Capital and Matrix Partners India. Now, despite this funding and after acquiring over 2,000 customers and around 170 employees, the startup had to shut shop this year, just like many other edtech startups in the country. The reason for the failure of this company was because schools started opening up post-pandemic. One of the co-founders had reportedly said the company tried to raise funds, but they could not find any backers and they had to close down shop because they were not able to sustain their operations. Now, number 2 in the list is Uday. Now, Uday too is an edtech startup. Was an edtech startup. It was launched by 3 promising entrepreneurs, Mehak Garg, Karan Vashne and Soumya Yadav. Forbes 30 Under 30 actually featured the startup and the founders in their Asia 2021 list as well. Uday introduced a unique interactive game-based approach to learning through live sessions on their online app. The startup had already spread across more than 1 lakh users and 200 teachers. Uday raised about $10 million from US-based Norwest Venture Partners in February, and it had already raised $2.5 million in seed funding a year ago from investors like InfoEdge, Kunal Shah, Better Capital, Alpha Wave, and Bossa Nova Investimentors. Now, the reason for the failure? Again, schools opening up post-pandemic. According to the founders, the company had enough capital in their books, but the business no longer made sense in a post-pandemic world. The parents and students lost interest in the app, and this resulted in the shutdown of the company. Number 3 in the list is Proton. Proton was a startup started by former Flipkart co-founders Anil Gulati and Mausam Bhatt. It provided a platform for independent professionals like lawyers, graphic designers, and nutritionists to launch their own businesses online. The professionals were able to launch live sessions, create videos, and even generate and track their payments and financial performance. The company had secured $9 million in seed funding just 6 months before it ceased operations. Reason of the failure? Well, no product market fit. The founders disagreed on multiple points on the direction in which the company was to be taken, and the situations worsened when they were not able to define the right pivot. Coupled with that, in the post-pandemic world, a lot of people went back to their regular businesses, and going online for the businesses for these kind of professions did not make sense anymore. Hence, the company wound down. Number 4 in the list is Ola Cars. Yes, Ola's platform for buying and selling old and new cars. Designed as a vehicle commerce platform for buying new and pre-owned cars through the Ola app, Ola wanted to compete with startups like Spinny, Droom, Cars24 and OLX in the used car category. However, less than a year into its starting up, Bhavish Agarwal basically decided to close this division down and focus on Ola Electric. The last in the list is Misho Superstore. Misho Superstore was the grocery division of Misho. and they shut shop this August and fired 300 employees of that division. In April, Misho rebranded Farmiso to Superstore with an aim to highlight its continued focus to fulfill consumer demand for daily essentials in Tier 2 market and beyond. The reason for the failure? Low revenue and high cash burn. So what are the key takeaways from these 5 startups? Number 1, just because you have raised funds does not mean that your company will be successful. Number 2, focus on problems which will outlast a pandemic. Number 3, always look for a product market fit. And number 4, if the company is big, there are chances that divisions will be closed down. You might be out of a job, but then hey, even the CEO out there needs to focus on profitability. Did we miss out any of the startups which failed in 2022 but we have not covered here in the list? Please let us know in the comments below, and if you like our video, please like, share and subscribe. We release these videos every Monday, so please subscribe if you have not already, and we'll see you guys next time.